There's so many memories that you guys failed to realize that would come back. The bad thing is, with crimes, I'm pretty certain, and especially with murder or attempted murder, there's no statute of limitations. And I don't have to be an attorney to know that. But you'll find out that soon enough. You can say best wishes. I wish you the best of luck. Do this, do that. One thing, karma's a bitch. That bitch about to hit y'all real quick. I'm sure I'll hear about it eventually. But it's the pursuit of not just my happiness, but also more education and employment that's keeping me going. Because you guys will never get to say you won this one. Not with the level of bullshit that you guys have done. There's so much fuckery going on in the military. I have no reason not to speak up. No reason whatsoever. To allow you to have even made it this far with the nonsense, it pisses me off. Because it's not like I haven't been telling people this is what's going on. They just haven't been listening. Oh, she's black, it doesn't matter. That's how you know race relations in this country will, they won't get better. They will be addressed, but they'll never probably ever get better. As long as you got racist people in power, that will remain nameless, but it is what it is. If you can put somebody racist in the highest office in this country, you can address racism at the lowest level. It may not just be me. And this probably is not the first time something like this has happened in the military. Because I remember hearing that story about the Private Siddiqui. He was an Arabian or Middle Eastern, let's say Middle Eastern, because I don't know his nationality. But they try to say this man committed suicide after joining one of the toughest branches of the military. He made it through some training, but then he suddenly just dies. Then they come back with the story talking about this dude jumped off of probably a 40-foot drop. And that sounds so damn ridiculous. Even the average person wouldn't believe that. So that was part of my pursuit. I contacted his attorney because he's helping his family beyond his death. And I called them to get some insight because I'm going through a similar situation, except I lived. His attorney's office hasn't called me back. For the average person or attorney, it might be too much for them to handle. Hell, it might just be, oh, she's black. I don't know what it is. But I can't seem to get an attorney's office solidly involved. Surprisingly, I even reached out to Johnny Cochran's law firm. They, from what they told me, they took down the intake, but then it was never inputted in the system. So I contacted them twice, and the second time they told me that I would hear something eventually. But here's the thing, though. I received a letter the same day I contacted them. So how crazy is that? You said that you didn't have my intake, but the same day I contact you, I receive a notification that you're not willing to help me. But you advised me that the statutes are running out on me trying to get assistance or punitive damages. I think that's what it said. There is no statute on murder. I'm sorry to tell you that. I don't have to be an attorney. If you guys can charge fucking Bill Cosby with some bullshit that happened 40, 50 years ago, because it was a white lady that came forward saying that this man drugged her 40 years ago. You can do something fucking about military members fucking drugging and fucking trying to kill me 3 years ago. I'm sorry to fucking tell you that. I have every right to be frustrated and angered. I have every right to have defended myself. And I have every right to continue to defend myself. And will continue to defend myself. So I'm telling you right now, don't try nothing. Don't try anything. Everything that I said has been well documented through every complaint that I've ever sent. If you haven't acknowledged it, that's not my problem. You become part of the problem, not part of the solution. I have every right to defend myself against military members trying to get me a dishonorable discharge. If the things they claim were true, there would have been so much more that happened, but it was never true. It's not true now. And if they don't feel bad, I don't feel bad for your aftermath. Because what we're looking at is me against the world. You remember that song by Tupac? I'm not going to play it for you. It's not me against the world. It's me against more than 50 members of the military, the United States Air Force, Guard members, active duty members, commanders, enlisted. It's me against a whole bunch of people. But I got the shaft, and I still have the memories of it. That's the thing that's going to come back and haunt you guys. Why? Because you should have never did what you did. When I came to you and told you I didn't assault her, you should have listened then, and then would never turn out this way. Because the one thing that I do know, and that's because I was raised to treat people like I want to be treated. Not just that. Karma. I was always taught about karma. In addition to karma, tell the truth. That's what everybody's taught. You guys have never told the truth. I don't know how long it took you, Julie, to write that statement. It wasn't even to this day worthy of me reading it, but I have this information. I'm going to read the entire packet that Captain McMath submitted, not just to JAG, to the base commander, because you got to have some backing to pull the shit that y'all have tried to pull. But the backing that you have, you can write any statement in the world if it's not true. Major Heidi can't defend an untruth, right? You can't defend untruths, no matter what your legal background is. You can't defend untruth, especially when murder is involved, bitch. I don't have to respect you. Your duty position has nothing to do with me. You got to have more than one attorney involved in this situation at this point, because y'all sent me to 8 different bases and 1 civilian hospital. But it didn't stop there, because the VA, the regional Dole Center, is also involved in this. In addition to that, you got 2 civilian hospitals that are only going off of previous care to try and continue to warehouse me in a civilian capacity, because they're not going to go against what the military has put on there. But like I said, an abuse of power, it can only stretch so far before you have to answer for it. And if they initially told a lie to try and get me put in the hospital, I've been working long enough to know what the Medical Information Bureau, they have your full medical history. So when you talk about that, they have access to your full medical records of your lifetime. I never had any medical issues of any significance ever documented. So for the United States Air Force, more specifically, the 138th Security Forces and the 386th and 387th and every other unit that was deployed to Kuwait while I was there in July and August of 2016. for you guys to try and make up some medical history that didn't exist. Do you really believe that somebody's going to just continue to believe this bullshit? I mean, if they do, that's their problem, because not only do they have to answer to it, you also. When you talk about crime victims, you can't say they don't have a voice. You can't say that. If one person refuses to prosecute, don't you know that I have a lifetime to pursue charges against your ass? You tried to kill me. You were not successful. And it doesn't scare me. Because like I said, the more I pursue, the more my word is going to get out there. Somebody's going to look into it. I've gotten enough good legal advice from attorneys that I know that I've been on the right track. That's why you guys have tried to halt every chance that y'all have. I just want to say that it's probably been every step of the way, application-wise, with the great jobs that I've had access to, that you've tried to halt any chance of growth. Here's the thing, though. You're slandering my name. You told several police departments that I abuse prescription drugs. That's a lie. And it's not even laughable. I can smile through this shit because I've lived through it, and the hurt portion of me that would have broke me down and actually had me crying, minus just tears in my eyes, that part of me is gone. You took away from me life that I never had the chance to bring into this world. You will not continue to make decisions for me. You won't. Because every bit of the medical history that you guys have fabricated, in addition to criminal records that you fabricated, you have to answer to it. You can't apologize for it now. But one thing that I can say is, I'm going to be at peace when I'm finally out of the military. I don't know what you guys will be at. Because I represent soldiers that have gotten fucked over, because I know some people personally that have. But they would have told me otherwise. Don't pursue this because you don't have the power the government has. You're right, I don't. I don't have a million attorneys securing the health, safety, and well-being of the people that I'm been going up against, because they're still actively serving. That's the difference. You can't be an honorable military member doing the shit that they've tried to cover up. But where does the cover up begin? It begins with that pregnancy test. If not for this, then this wouldn't have happened. There's a lot of if and thens in this. There's a lot that has been covered up. My mission is to make sure that it's not continued to cover up. I don't want to live through another year of this bullshit. Why are you really mad I recovered? Because I was still able to complete that degree. Let's not forget the Department of Corrections, the Kansas Department of Corrections specifically, and the Kansas Department of Children and Family Services. You guys can work together all you want to, but you're part of the civilian connection to this problem, because I filed a complaint with the Kansas Human Rights Commission regarding the disability that these guys try to create. You guys failed to address that. I returned to work when I should have rightfully still been on active orders. That's a really big issue here. Because whenever you're injured, military members, whenever you're injured, you're not supposed to be removed from any orders until you receive clearance to return to work. But if they can identify the problem that was created by the military members that drugged me, how am I still not on orders? This has happened before, so we just revisiting bullshit because I hurt my ankle on McConnell Air Force Base. I want to say it was 2003 or 4. It was one of them years. It doesn't really matter because it was documented. It was literally seconds before my orders expired. But when they don't like you, they break all kind of rules because they don't feel like they have to go back and answer to them. That was my first injury. I hurt myself on the POL area, and it's still there. It was a fracture, a hairline fracture. They didn't continue the order. They just blew it off like nothing happened. But I received the documents. They didn't even file it as a line of duty. This is how crazy it is. I went to go see the doctor because it was a work-related injury, but they never filed it as a line of duty to the best of my knowledge. It's something that you'll have to go back and you'll have to correct that because that's what happened. There's a lot of stuff that you guys have fucked up. Probably because you didn't think I would retire. But as long as I've been in the military, I've been a fighter because I've had a lot of poor leadership. And that's one thing that I learned from yes, he's the only good supervisor that I've ever had in the military. It doesn't matter what his name is. What's important, he was able to maintain, he made it to the rank because he was more politically correct than I ever will be. And I don't kiss ass, and I'm not saying that he does, but he definitely wasn't up against the roadblocks that I came across. Very powerful dude. If you ever get to meet him in person, he knows who he is. It's still influential because I try to make contact with him once I got back, and I try to see what kind of advice he would give me as to how to pursue it. He just told me to continue to be who I am, and hopefully that it will work out itself. I didn't get the chance to talk to you. Not like I wanted to. But I know you would have told me to continue to pursue what's right also, because that's one influence that you've also always had. For the short time that we've known each other, you've been a powerful military and civilian influence on my life. I'm not able to watch my mouth. I'm politically correct as I will ever be. But one thing that I didn't get the chance to tell you when I talked to you, they tried to take my life. Chief Brown. They tried to take my life, and I was deployed pregnant. I would never risk your career or anybody else's for anything like this. But it's always good to get seniority advice when you're going through some things you don't know how to handle yourself. The avenues that I've tried to take, I've been halted and redirected every chance they've gotten. But somebody has to address it. I won't be out until July, and I'm not going to run scared either. But I know that this is probably not an isolated event because we've had several suicides and murders in our unit. We've had child pornography for God's sakes. That was a chief when we went to Gulfport. He was arrested in Gulfport, Mississippi. That's how bad the police wanted his ass. They came all the way from Tulsa, Oklahoma to pick his ass up on that base. So when I tell you I never felt safe in this unit, I stepped in and knew I was a part of bullshit to begin with. Especially when you have a tech sergeant that's supposed to be a good leader, a motivator, telling you that you'll never get promoted in this unit and you'll never be anything in this unit. I had to show her up. I know she's still there. But when you hear this message, wherever your ass is at, bitch, I hope you remember this face. Because this face was an envy of a whole damn squadron, to be perfectly honest with you. Somebody that's willing to take your life over something they know nothing about. Jealousy, envy, curiosity. Probably was curiosity. That's what I hear now, even from my current job. Who is your boyfriend? Who is your husband? Who's your intimate partner? None of your fucking business. That's none of your fucking business. Maybe that's why you guys knew I was pregnant and I didn't know. Because he actually wanted a baby. And he was happy to hear about it long after the fact. But it brought tears to his eyes that I wasn't able to tell him we had children together already. But it was taken from us. And he felt like it was a secret that I was holding in. But we both found out at the same time. And that was long after the fact. And this is because the military, it ain't so copacetic. It may not be everybody. It may not be everybody. But there's enough dirty people that I ran into in this short amount of time. You will never get me trusting anybody that's affiliated with that unit. It's risen to levels of just unbelievable. How about the VA drugging me when I get there? I go there for follow-up care. And this bitch put what she claimed saline rinse in my body. It wasn't saline because it was a sedative, something that knocked me flat on my ass within 2 minutes or less. And the bitch tried to pick me up in the bathroom stall. I go in there for insect bites that are visible. I come out from a mental health hospital because this bitch sedated me and she made up some more medical records. Again, this is all stemming off the same bullshit that Julie, you had a lot to do with. If you don't feel bad by the time you hear the full story. So are you still smiling? Let's say full story. When I say full story, just know, I mean, I was pregnant, right? I was pregnant. And while all this stuff is happening, bitch, I even saved your ass in the unit. Because they thought you were stupid, and they probably still do. They thought you were a dirtbag. They probably thought the same about me. But I was able to make rank in the unit that didn't like me. I was able to get that promotion that black bitch told me I would never get. I was able to be a combat arms instructor. Randall Arnold, hey, that's what you wanted to do. That's why I know you have some secrets in this also. How about that squad leader position? Because I know you wanted it also, Randall. You wouldn't have got your rank had I not fought for it. I had to talk to you first, Randall, to make sure that your mind was where it's supposed to be. You can't make progress without the effort, right? So that's what I had to get your mind back into full effort. You can't say we didn't ever talk about stuff like that because you had to backtrack. You were literally suicidal because your ex-wife. Yet, Sapulpa Police Department, they still armed you. What will come of this? Your guess is as good as mine. But y'all threw me under the bus and it's my turn. It's my turn now because I'm not going to stop. Y'all calling me all kind of bitch and hoe, stripper, slut, this and that, hood rat, ratchet, Arnold. Oh, you remember that SF Facebook page that you had that black senior airman tell me to go to? I'm pretty sure that you or McMath or even Munoz, one of the three of y'all posted that shit about me. By the way, I still have a copy of that too. Bettis, whatever your name is. I went against your advice. And you told me to shut the page down. I just wanted to see how much it would take for y'all to talk shit about me. But Arnold, he really had something to do with that. Because that post, it said my email address. So somebody wanted me to see it. The thing is, you can cause anxiety. You're not going to cause me to harm myself. Not now or ever. When I tell you something and you don't want to believe it, that's your problem. Because it's still going to come back to haunt you. Whether these videos are viewed now or in the future, guess what happens? The truth comes out. That's all that matters, right? It's not all that matters to me because I'm owed back pay too. You've tried to make my life a miserable living hell. Not only will I get back pay, I'm going to get punitive damages, slander, defamation of character, lost wages. That enlistment bonus that you guys fucking try to kill me for, I'm not paying that back either. Because you tried to kill me. There's a difference between suicide and fucking murder. And I had no parts in either one, so we'll see where this goes. But you guys are the liar in this. That's not me. I'm not going to continue to act like it's okay and all hunky-dory. It's not. I don't know what the base commander's name is, but I even wrote to yo ass. I've had six of them. Count them, 6. In the short time that I was there, I had 6 base commanders, most of which were relieved of duty for some kind of misconduct on that base. The only one that I can remember is, and I don't know your name, you were sleeping with your secretary and it came out. But there's so much shit that's on that base. I'm not surprised. And that's as good as a tear you'll see. Why? Because I'm cried out. You're not going to see me bawling. You'll see tears falling. I'm going to wipe them away, but I'm going to continue to talk. You're not going to see bags under my eyes. I'm not a beauty queen. I'm not going to be stressed out. I find every reason to smile. Why? Because I was raised better than any one of you motherfuckers that try to take my life and cover it up. And I still don't hate you, but you'll probably hate yourself by the time this comes out. Why? Because you risk not just my military and civilian career, but you risked your own. We could have solved that problem by that pregnancy test. Because I would have requested to be out. Family will always be more important than any military or civilian position, corporation, organization, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Family will always be more important than any job that I'll ever have. The thing is, I haven't even completed all my education. And even though you created a mess, the storm is here for you. It's clearing up for me. I fought through a whole bunch of shit. Oh, I'm sure that y'all have heard about it because I hear about it every day when I go to work. But I bet you'll stop spreading rumors. Yeah. It doesn't matter where I work right now. It matters that I hear your little bullshit comments. Oh, she's this. Oh, she's that. Oh, guess what? When you spread rumors and lies, you become part of the problem. And my strong suggestion is if you don't hear it from the horse's mouth, that you don't say it, period. Why? Because the military has concocted lies. It's not a branch of the service, it's the units that are involved in the people. You got key players. It's time to meet your maker. It's not me. This story takes twists and turns. Guess whose time it is to tell the truth? It's me. I have nothing to lose. You try to take my life. You've already tried to take my livelihood. It's time for me to speak up. I have a friend, it doesn't matter what her name is. She told me to be prepared for anything, so I have already listened to your advice because we've been friends for more than 10 years. But to that I tell you, this fight is also yours. Why? Because nobody should have to ever live through the things that the both of us have lived through. I have another friend. He will remain nameless, but he was also on McConnell when this bullshit was going on. Probably more than likely a target because we were hanging out. He's blessed and highly favored now. He has his own business, couple businesses. That's awesome. And guess what? I'm still proud of myself because I lived through dying. I lived through a deployment pregnant. My children were not that lucky. You took away life that you didn't give. Not only did the mother, me, not get to meet the children, the father didn't either. So you'll never ruin our relationship. But until I have the full story out, he'll never know the full story either. So you'll never know who he is and his identity because I'm not going to give that to you. It's not any of your fucking business. Just know that you deployed a pregnant United States Air Force member. I was on the countdown for retirement, and I'm still fighting for medical retirement. Why? Because this is the situation you guys put me in. I didn't put myself in it. That's what the real deal is.